Mr. Speaker.
I call the Honourable Damien O'Connor.
Mr. Speaker, I wonder what our pioneering ancestors would think. A nanny state bill, if ever there was one, Mr. Speaker. Because we're now going to be told where we can do poos. Mr. Speaker, I'll tell you why this bill is nothing but a bit of grandstanding by Nick Smith and a few over there, because if it was a true bill to address the issue, it would be called the Environmental Protection Bill. I accept there is an issue, and there has been an issue here for a long time, but it was raised not on the basis of people stopping for the night, but actually people stopping during the day, and in South Westland in particular. And if you go through, yeah, that's right, even that, well, no, I don't think that member does actually. He should do it more often, he might clear his head. Mr. Speaker, if the issue is that in many places throughout rural New Zealand, there are simply no facilities, there are no toilets. And if people are travelling 200 kilometres, or even 100 kilometres, Mr. Speaker, and stopping, then the question of where they go to toilet is a significant one for them. And what we ended up with, and we still have that, is that many stopping places, not camping places, but stopping places up and down the country are littered, Mr. Speaker, and are disgusting, absolutely. But the question is, what have we done to help those tourists know about the situation? We've done nothing. Our signage, Mr. Speaker, is pathetic. Mr. Speaker, as Minister of Tourism, I raised this issue, that we, as a tourism industry and as a country, had a responsibility to inform those people who we were hosting in this country about some normal issues of where they should go. We tell them whether there's petrol or not, Mr. Speaker. We tell them about, sometimes we tell them about the speed limits, but I have to say that signage is quite pathetic, Mr. Speaker. And many tourists coming to this country get pinged for speeding when they probably haven't seen, because the signs are so small, a speeding sign. And the same thing will happen now, Mr. Speaker. So what we're going to do is the Nanny State National Party is going to say, well, we're going to let the council say you can't go here and you can go here and you can't go there. Mr. Speaker, there have been speakers in this debate get up and say, well, it might be used to actually just chase people to camping grounds when they may have otherwise camped out around this country. We have a spectacular country. We have a small population. No one could say we are overpopulated, Mr. Speaker, and the vast majority of people coming to visit this country come because they want to see the spectacular scenery and enjoy the incredible nature that we have. The question I ask is, what happened and what's wrong with the shovel? Will someone camping somewhere, Mr. Speaker, with a shovel, dealing with their excrement properly, will they be fined as well? Can Mr. Hanari tell us that? Oh, he doesn't know well. The question is, will the normal systems, the sensible systems that many people have adopted over many, many years be accepted as mitigation for what has been a growing problem? I accept that, Mr. Speaker. But what we've done here, for cheap political purposes, is have a freedom camping bill, Mr. Speaker. That will, I have to say, send shivers up the spines of many people trying to market and promote this country to a whole lot of people out around there, Mr. Speaker. Oh, yes, the minister's over there, the Minister of Conservation, is jumping up and down. Well, I say to her, what has she or her government done to increase the level of facilities and toilets throughout the country? And what will she do? What will she do to address the issue of daytime toilet need up and down this country? Up and down this country, Mr. Speaker. So they'll be told where to go in the evening, where they can stop. They'll be told where to go at night, but what about during the daytime? Hold on, help is coming. You have to go down the road, around the corner and there, and there's a spot that you can camp and go to the toilet, Mr. Speaker. It is rather ridiculous. I think we need a more comprehensive approach to this. Labor will support this into the Select Committee because we accept there's an issue. But I have to say it is a bizarre approach, and it is a half-hearted approach from a government that just thinks you can fine people, the people that come to this country. I can just imagine the reaction of many, many tourists when they come to this country, Mr. Speaker, when we haven't even informed them through a normal system of signage, through a normal system of education, about what are the protocols around us. Now, the councils that I have spoken to, over the years, Western District in particular, have been complaining about this for a long, long time, I have to say. Because as people drive down through South Western, there haven't been the toilets. And there have been some shocking sights at popular rest areas, Mr. Speaker. But we haven't even had a sign. We haven't even bothered to put up a sign and say to those travellers, no toilets for the next 50 kilometres, implying, well, just listen. If it says no, oh, we had that. We said no petrol for 100 kilometres. I've seen signs like that. But we don't assist people by saying no toilets for 100 kilometres, which would imply the same thing, Mr. Speaker. I know. And Mr. Speaker, I'm just raising the realistic issues of people as they travel around this country. And if the party over there, the nanny state party, that's going to tell people where to go to the toilet now, if they think they have addressed this problem of camping at night, then they're kidding themselves. What will you do? What will this government do to address the issue of the toilet need during the day, Mr. Speaker? I mean, you can even understand it yourself, can't you? Mr. Speaker, that's right. There are some real issues that need to be addressed here. There are some wider environmental issues, and the issue of the tourism industry contributing to more infrastructure in this area is an important one, and I challenge the government to address that, Mr. Speaker. The fact that the Swiss scheme, the subsidies for small communities to put in place toilet facilities and dump stations, has gone. No assistance at all. Small communities expected to put in place large facilities. Now, even for camping grounds that might be then allocated or dedicated to this purpose, Mr. Speaker, I say to you that if you have a concentration of campers in one area, you're going to have to upgrade the facilities, and the question is who does that? Now, there'll be some commercial campgrounds that are happy to do that. There will be many, many areas around this country that will not be able to do that without proper assistance. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, I say that this is an ad hoc response. It is about a bit of political grandstanding by Nick Smith, Mr. Speaker, and it does not address the major issue of infrastructure for tourists, not just at night time, but during the day as well, Mr. Speaker. And if we're going to uphold and support the 100% pure brand in this country, then a more comprehensive look at environmental infrastructure for tourists has to be addressed. And you can guarantee that that party that chopped $15 million off Tourism New Zealand's budget in the last budget, $15 million less to promote New Zealand, I guess that's one way of addressing this problem, because there certainly won't be as many people coming to New Zealand. And if the tourism industry, maybe that's, in fact, they might have outsmarted us, Mr. Speaker, I can concede that maybe the cunning plan of the National Party to address this issue is actually cut $15 million off Tourism New Zealand's budget, reduce the number of people coming to the country, and we won't have the problem. Because that's exactly what is going to happen here. I think it's a draconian approach to what is a real issue, Mr. Speaker, but if you think that just fining individuals whose understanding of the English language may not be great, who have had no information or education on what is the norm and the protocol in New Zealand, Mr. Speaker, but have hired a rental van with or without facilities somewhere else in the world, Mr. Speaker, those people will feel really gutted, I'm sure, when they get slapped with a $200 fine. So it surprises me, but nonetheless, the nanny state, draconian government that they are, Mr. Speaker, have finally shown their true colours. cut the budget from Tourism New Zealand, cut the money from SWAS and the support for local councils for toilet and for sewage facilities, Mr Speaker, and just simply slapped a fine on those people who can't hold on any longer. Thank you, Mr Speaker.
I call the honourable